There is a strange paradox in human psychology. When given the choice between unpredictable joy or predictable misery, the brain almost always chooses the misery. We want to assume people want to be happy, but just watch closely. Many times you will see people get exactly what it is that they've been aching to achieve, whether it's a new job, a new relationship, that quiet afternoon that they've been craving. And very soon, they just blow it off. It looks like self-sabotage, but over a century ago, there was an author called Marcel Proust whom discovered it's actually much more sinister than that. For people, they don't see it as they are destroying their happiness. They are simply trying to protect their identity. Proust writes about this character he references as Swann's father. He was described as being this man who loved being alive. Whether it's walking by a hawthorn tree and admiring it, or just having a lovely day walking around his pond, he saw the beauty of life. Then his wife died, and Proust starts recording something fascinating. The man, he didn't just grieve. He made the foundation of who he was become this pain. His entire identity rebuilt itself around this wound that he had. But here's where it gets strange. There was a scene that Proust was describing of this man walking in the woods, and for just a brief second, his grief had just dropped. He looks at the beautiful trees around, and he gets the joy of life that he used to have back. He even turns to his friend and says, "Oh, how wonderful it is to be alive again." And then his brain catches that mistake. Proust writes that the man's emotion overcomplicated him. How, at such a time, could he have himself feel so happy? So what does he do? He wipes his forehead, dries out his eyes, and puts his glasses back on, and slowly and deliberately pulls himself back into the misery. And Proust notes, for the rest of his life, the man simply could not feel the joy of life anymore. He chose a sadness over any kind of potential happiness that he could have found. And why? Because the brain cares more about feeling safe than being happy. And to the brain, safe means familiar. And here's the thing. When suffering becomes your whole identity, you know exactly who you are. For Swann's father, the grieving widower, that became something he was very familiar with. But the man who survived his wife and found joy again, that person, that is a stranger. And stepping into a stranger's shoes, that is terrifying, even if the shoes are better. Is this not the same loop that happens to us though? We hit this big milestone, this big aim that we had, and 30 seconds later, we're right back to chasing more stress. Some call this a drive, but this isn't just a drive. It is being scared of living outside of a version of us that isn't always struggling and chasing after something. When an identity has kept you safe, it doesn't feel like freedom to let it go. Instead, it feels more like a threat. So we wipe our foreheads off, we put on our glasses, and we go running back to the wound. Because at least the wound is ours. What's tragic isn't that life takes away our joy. The tragedy is what you do in the moments that it does not. Some people, they don't lose joy. They simply give it back.